1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Doing good.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
Sam.
Sam.
I'm trying to shove my dinner down really quickly.
Been there, done
I'm
that.
still working on mine. Hi, Victoria.
What is it that you drink every meeting, Janice? Because it looks fabulous and you make it look really fun with your nice, cute little mug.
Hot chocolate.
Is that what that is?
Mine.
Yes, cocoa.
Oh my gosh. I'm always amazed. I'm like, she makes that look so fun. Like, what is in there?
Well, don't do it. You can get at Safeway. They have, I think it's organic cocoa mix. It does have sugar in it, so I suppose it's a little bit sinful. But I put half a cup, I don't know, half of the mug is milk, and the rest is water and the cocoa.
Nice.
So
Maybe we'll have to have like a cocoa party.
okay,
One of our, like maybe in the during the like the Christmas time where we can all get together. Maybe we can have like a Zoom cocoa and cookie party.
There we go.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we should totally do it. Does that sound fun, Sam?
Pardon me?
Do you like cocoa? Hot cocoa?
Oh, my granddaughter eats about a full can per week.
Yeah.
Wow.
For me, it's milk chocolate, which I will eat by the ton if I'm allowed to.
When Janice lets you.
She hasn't yet, so I don't get to eat a ton at a time. But I'm a chocoholic. I always have been.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. I can remember as a youngster, Hershey bar would disappear within 3 seconds. Maybe if I was really careful, it would last 5 seconds. But yeah,
I don't buy chocolate anymore because I can't resist eating it.
yeah,
I don't keep it around the house either. It's the same sort of situation.
too sinful.
Now, it worked out for me in the past because I'm very much into industrial archaeology, and I would be back east on industrial tours each year, and I could sin left and right because my wife wasn't with me. But the coronavirus has gotten in the way. I would not get on an airplane these days, and the meetings aren't being held anyway, so except by Zoom. So
Oh, I'm starting to hate Zoom.
it's
I
don't
have
know. It's a
been,
mixed blessing. If you have something, it helps seeing the people you're talking to.
you won't believe some people are so stupid. I was on a Zoom meeting with the court. I was eyewitness for the court. And one of the defendants is walking in his living room in his panty and no pants. And this is court hearing.
Are you
What is it?
serious? Oh my goodness.
Yes,
What
that's
is it?
He was what?
he wasn't wearing the right clothes, if any. Yeah, that's an issue that's showing up a lot. There was a TV guy just caught, well, literally without in the wrong in the wrong exposure environment. Be very careful about description. But yeah, it's startling how casual some people can be. Look at me, I'm even wearing suspenders to this meeting. I forgot to change into my more formal clothes. So that's par for the course.
I don't care if they don't wear whatever they are wearing, but at least don't show it. Don't
Yes,
get
right.
around and walk in front of the camera.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, nobody can see that I'm wearing purple slacks.
So
There's nothing wrong about purple slacks.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's somewhat of a dated style, but that's not unheard of. When I walk around in purple slacks, people sort of start looking. But
Well, I remember the first time that I wore a pair of jeans to work. This was in 73, 74. And the executive secretary for vice president of the company came to my office the same day and said, "This is not something you should wear."
Boy, and now they'll wear them to church.
I remember when I first started working, it was 1960, went to work in a suit and a tie, white shirt, suit and tie. Well, I managed to get rid of the suit. Then I got rid of the tie. But as you may have noticed, I still have my white shirts. I doubt if they'll ever wear out, or I will before they do.
Yeah, when I took the retirement, I went to my closet and I had over 25 white shirts.
Ah.
I still do.
I kept about 3 or 4 of them. The rest we gave it to charity because I'm not going to wear it. Why should it stay in the closet?
I find that they're the only shirts I can reasonably get with sleeves long enough for me. Most of the average shirts that you get are 34, maybe 35-inch sleeves. I need 37. And those are really hard to find.
Well, I can sympathize with you.
Sorry, say again?
The shirts that I get when the collar fits,
Yeah,
then the chest wouldn't fit and the arms are up to here, halfway.
yeah.
If I wear something that it fits my body, then the collar is 3 times bigger.
Been there, done that. So, Dave, you on frequency?
Yep, I'm back in. What time is it? It's almost there. Yeah, I'm still getting everything set up. Let me start the video.
I
Can
got
you
a
hear me
question.
okay?
Yeah. How do you hear me? I just added a new microphone.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
At some point, I'd like to get from you what the latest paperwork that will be used between the operations chief and recon.
That's funny.
Okay, enough said.
I think we looked at redoing that a while ago. Let me wander through the forms and see if I can find what we did last.
Okay.
And I can start that now.
Yeah, that's coming. And I want to have that as not the most immediate step after now, but that's going to be part of the training that I'd like to include.
Sure, that makes sense.
The question on the badges, the ID cards.
Yeah, Sam, go ahead.
So what are we supposed to do now?
Well, can you be a little more specific about your question?
Well, I couldn't print what and the file that came because I just couldn't manage to get out, and I don't have the robust software to do it. And now, can I have a printout of it, or do I need to take it to Fry's or Costco to get them printed?
Well, so if your problem is just getting yours separated or downloading that whole big one with everybody's name on it, I can just cut yours out and mail it to you. But
I
if you,
couldn't separate, that's the problem.
well, okay, so usually here, in fact, let me see, can I share screen or are we still locked out?
I tried
Yeah.
to save it as a PDF so that I can go and print that specific page,
I can make you
it
share
didn't.
screen, Dave.
Thanks, Victoria.
Yeah, hold on. I just messed up though. Hold on. Okay. I'll try this way. Okay.
All righty.
Most
Up
print
there we
software
go.
will let you print just a single page in the print dialog itself.
Who's that?
Yeah, who's that guy?
Who's that? Hey, Neil. We missed you.
Hello, everyone.
Glad to
Hi,
see you.
Neil.
Well, I did see your face earlier, but glad to see your smiling face.
So Sam, can you see my screen? See the CERT badges coming up?
Yes.
Okay. So this is, Linux, so it's a little different than everything else in the world. But the way this usually works is you say, I want to print, and you'll get some kind of a dialog box. And even on my Windows machines, I don't have a Mac, there's this range thing down here. So you find, let's find you.
Well, if I had a Linux machine, I could do it, no problem.
Yeah, no, you couldn't. That would only make it harder.
I used Linux for 20 years.
Really? Well, come on, you have a Linux machine. You just download it and get started.
I don't
How
have-
hard is that?
I don't have right now.
I have it up on Windows and can share it if I can get presentation privileges.
Okay, well, let me just demonstrate here. So all I'm going to suggest is that when you go to print,
Done, Neil.
this is page 34. So you just say, I want to print either the current page or page 34.
34.
Yeah, your
And then it
print
will just-
dialog is not showing up.
Yeah. Well, I haven't let go yet, which is probably why. Oh, the dialogue didn't show up?
Correct.
Hey, guys,
Huh.
I can stick around till 7:30 or so. I have another Zoom meeting after that. I'm sorry. This
That's
is a
fine.
KI6PUO.
Yeah. It's only letting me share operation or windows, not whole screens, which is weird. Okay, so anyway, there's the dialog box, I think. Oh, no, so this is the just the print, and it's just one page. So the point here is just when you have the dialog box, you need to just say print one page, and then you'll get two faces on it, but that's only because I did each of these two up.
Okay.
And again, if that doesn't work for you, it's easy enough for me to do this and save this. Wait a minute.
Yeah, from Chrome, you could just print to PDF that one page.
Yeah, well, that's basically what I did here, except I went through that. And then, okay. Neil, you want to show it on Windows? I think I've stopped. Yeah, I've stopped sharing.
I'm looking for share screen also, and I'm only seeing Windows.
That's weird.
So I'm probably going to have the same problem as you.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll take that issue up later. Let's.
Maybe we can. Well, you have a step-by-step guide, right, Dave, that we put out,
Yeah.
and that still people are still having problems getting their one name out. I think.
Yeah, I'm just going to send Sam his page. That solves a bunch of problems.
I'll try and mess with it too, and maybe I can help out sending people their pictures or bring them out or whatever's easier. Thank you for that. Okay, hi everybody. Nice to see you all. Looks like we have, let's see, Dave Stewart, the Cars, Neil, Annie, Sam, Amy, Elise, John, Adachi and John Montram, Linda, everything keeps skipping around. So sorry if I skipped anybody. Thank you all for coming. We don't have a huge agenda tonight, but there's some things that I wanted to update you on, some opportunities that we may have. I just wanted to kind of lightly throw out there, and so on and so forth. Does anyone have anything to bring up before I start? I want to welcome Neil back. Neil, happy to have you back from your long tour. How long were you gone for? It feels like 3 months or something. Was it that long?
It was about 2 months.
Jeez. And you were gone for 2 months? Like,
I was both gone and home working virtually.
yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for your service. I'm sure you've got quite some stories from all that. Never a dull moment, I'm sure. But nice to have you back. So I'm going to share I did a little PowerPoint because I'm tired and I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. And I haven't done this in a while, so hopefully I do this right.
I was going to say, I was so impressed with you for staying on the commissioners meeting past your bedtime last night.
Oh, I have been useless today. Like literally, I try to drink like coffee and iced tea, and I was like, I can't do this. And I drank too much iced tea, so then I couldn't take a nap. So hopefully it's all going to work out tonight. So I hope hopefully this PowerPoint was what's going to help me here, but I'm having a problem sharing it as usual. So let me see why it's not working. I forgot. Larry, you need to remind me what I told you to do. Oh, there you do. Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay, let's go to this right here. And okay, can everybody see that?
Yep.
Yay. Okay. Thanks, Janice, for the picture. This is I'm gonna try and take pictures when we go out there. I always forget because I get wrapped up in other things, but I wanted to start kind of taking pictures of the group of us that are out there at the Arc doing our thing. Really quick, we're talking a little bit about the name tag distribution that we're starting to do. So we've given out pretty much the bulk of the vests. We do have some that are still, people have still not picked them up. Dave is still willing to hand some out. He's got a small number of vests. I will send this PowerPoint out after the meeting. So you just need to hit him up. I think pretty much everyone on this call has already gotten their vests, right, Dave?
Yeah, I think so. I don't see any names
Yeah.
but I had to go back and nag.
Okay. And if you need help nagging, I'm really good at that. So just let me know.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a degree in nagging, so
yeah, I figure not nagging people is their own reward. They just don't get a vest.
True. Badge holders are again done by Dave. He's given, I think we have them all, right, Dave?
No, I have a dozen or so up at my house, and same rules. You can just come and pick them up. I actually have them clipped to the bottom of a little sign over that same bench where I was doing the vest distribution.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. So yeah, and I'll be at the Arc, here and there. Now we have another whole project that we're going to do. We added on more work for ourselves. I think in the long run it's going to be good. I'll talk about that in a couple of minutes, but yeah, so we have some in the Arc as well. If you guys have problems printing out your badges, just hit Dave or I up and we can kind of walk you through it. That's what we were doing when you guys first logged on there. Oops, wrong one. Wait, why am I not going? Why is it not going forward? Okay, hold on a second. There we go. Okay, Arc Trolley Refresh update. So we were going to start doing some videos at the Arc, and my thought was that we could show somebody literally showing up and opening up the Arc, where to go to do that, kind of walk through some steps. That way, since we can't all be there to do it, it might be cool to watch somebody do it. And then the people that are doing it are kind of doing a little drill themselves. So we were all gung-ho with the Kearneys. We finally got them together and here in the area to do a triage video. And the first thing we did was open up the Arc and looked at the maps and went, there's 2 different maps here. And we're not really sure exactly which maps we're supposed to be following. The maps were not updated to reflect, I think, the changes in the parking lot. So we talked about some things on the map. We also need to think about, the parking plan for our certs. I don't know if the plan that we had, I don't know who made the plan. Was it Mike Sanders back in the day that made that map, and you guys all kind of did it together, or does anyone have any history on
Do
that?
you mean the map for the layout at the Arc?
Yes.
No, Neil and I think, put that together, depending on which one we're looking at. I mean, it's possible that the one that's up in the Arc is still the one from before the Arc move, but
Okay.
someplace I did an Arc layout.
Yes, as I recall, there was a meeting with like 5 or 8 of us where we
Yeah.
went through possible layouts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just the two maps were kind of conflicting. So one map was like an aerial satellite map, and it had the triage area was kind of like around the corner from each other, so they were kind of like they weren't all together. And then the other map that we saw was not aerial. It looked like it was someone had designed the map that didn't include it had the 3 things together, but there wasn't any, like, the building where it was supposed to be wasn't there. And so I think it just needs to be updated. But I think maybe on our next call, we can look at sort of some things to do with that. One of the things that we probably didn't have in our thought process in doing that is COVID. So, and Neil, you would probably be a really good person. I'm assuming that the shelters that you have put up had some different things in place due to COVID. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you just, because I know we really were kind of going back and forth, like, what do they do there? Can you kind of just give us a brief idea of what they do at the check? Is it at the check-in, I'm assuming?
There's,
Area?
it's not clear to me what you're asking. There's how a shelter is laid out and how you cycle people through screening and then check-in and then the shelter. And then there's COVID rules for how closely you lay things out as people are there.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's exactly what I'm going for.
Yeah. So it's basically, 6-foot separation. In the shelter, it's head to toe. You alternate which way the heads go. So it maximizes the spacing for the breath. It's rule of thumb is 100 square feet a person. So it's 10 by 10, including aisleways and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then there's screening on the way in. So we have our models talk about check-in, but we really don't talk about temperature screening and how to cycle that. And
so basically you had a screening in front of the check-in. I mean, if we were to so if we're looking at, let's go back to kind of what we would do, right? We would, similar to what the Red Cross does, they have a screening area prior to an actual check-in area, correct?
Correct.
Okay. When someone is screened there and they have some symptomologies or a fever, what do you guys, what's the plan to do with them after that?
So Red Cross shelters always have, I want to say nurses, it's broader than that, but for the sake of this, let's say nurses, disaster health service.
Right.
And we send them to them and they figure out whether it's COVID or, actually even broader than COVID, there's many reasons why you might need to be in isolation.
Right.
In theory, every shelter has an isolation area. Okay. In the land of COVID, sometimes they send people to a completely different facility rather than just an isolated room in the shelter.
Okay.
And I can pull the documentation for all that if you need it.
Yeah, because as we were talking through things, it's like, okay, so what if we do have someone that we need to isolate? Is that something that you guys have talked about in the past? I mean, even as you were saying, it doesn't just have to be COVID, right? It could be all kinds of things. But has there been a plan in place already where we would isolate people if needed?
Not at the CERT level.
Okay. But that would be something where if Red Cross activated at Foothill, would they have that already figured out?
So the Red Cross expects it will take 4 to 6 hours from the time they say go to the time they start admitting people.
Okay.
So that's some of the things they would do in that 4 to 6 hours is figure out what the layout's going to be, which rooms are going to be used for which, how many people can they afford to get, so on and so forth.
Okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate because I think our training for Red Shelter was right at COVID. Red Shelter. I'm sorry. See, here I go. For Red Cross Shelter was right when COVID shut down. So it would have benefited me and some people who haven't gone through it to see kind of what the plan would be to open a shelter and kind of talk about it at Foothill. But it is what it is, right? Okay, thank you. That's what I kind of wanted to know. So that's something we need to obviously add into our mapping. And if we have people coming prior to the Red Cross opening up a shelter, how would we isolate people? Where would we do that at? So there's some things we want to think about.
Victoria, I found the map that Neil and I forget who else was at the meeting agreed to. You want to see it?
Yeah, can you? I think you're still a co-host, so can you share it?
Yeah. Can you see it?
Nope.
No.
Do I have to stop sharing though? Maybe I need to stop sharing. Do you want me to stop sharing and we'll see how that goes?
Sure. Although my side tells me I'm sharing.
I can see you now. Can you guys see it? Okay.
Yeah, I started with the map that I have of the admin building, and then you can see that we just arc down in the lower corner here.
Yep.
Incident command out front. IT and recon take up the closer parking spaces. Staging and operations are in that other area there. We had this brilliant idea of putting in the check-in underneath the stairs, and then that creates a sort of gate to get into the area.
Okay.
And then the medical area was going to be parceled down that parking area a little bit further away. And that,
Dave,
hello?
Can you hear me, first of all?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're kind of fading in.
Okay, there was a problem we discovered this weekend, that the spaces where you have IT and recon have cars permanently parked there.
Yeah, I've seen that actually. They've got a bunch of, well, permanently is kind of relative. I'm sure they're parked there permanently during COVID with the entire college shut down, but your point is still well made.
Yeah, I've seen them. I saw them even before COVID. They've been there since I've started there.
Yeah.
So I know that's another thing we're thinking of, we're like, we're going to have to deal with those cars being there, at least at some level. So that is definitely not the map that we saw.
Okay.
Yeah. Because this makes a whole lot more sense than the other two maps I saw.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Good job for having the actual spacing in there. Yeah. This is actually awesome. So that makes a lot of sense, because I was a little bit concerned because where they had some of the triage stuff didn't make a whole lot of sense for ingress and egress. And then the arc was like way off. I couldn't even tell. It literally took Terry and Mari and I like 10 minutes to figure out where the map was even going from, because the arc was in some weird place. And then they had like a tent way down the bike path. And so this is awesome. Okay.
That may well have been the original map from back when the arc was on the other side of that parking lot.
And yeah,
before there was a building there.
Yeah, exactly. It was definitely before the building was there. That's for sure. So, okay. Is that something I can get access to, Dave? Is that
sure?
The IT?
Give me half a second and I'll mail it to you.
Okay, perfect. Well, that takes care of that.
Hey, Dave, is that in Google Drive somewhere?
Yeah, is that in the IT?
I expected to find it in Google Drive, but I found it in my own stuff. So let me put it on Google Drive, and then I'll send out a link instead.
Beautiful.
Okay. And I'll put a link on the website so that everyone can, find it on the website if they lose track of it.
Okay.
Thank you, Neil. Appreciate that. Okay, so let's go back to.
Dave, one comment on that map.
Yes.
Check-in is under the stairs. In case of earthquake, fire department may not allow us to put the check-in on that place.
That's an interesting point.
That restricts the access of the people running in and out, so they won't let us do it.
Maybe, although if the building is undamaged, then it's probably okay, but we can always just put it on the other side of that whole stairs thing in the road. if for whatever reason we can't.
Just we should have an option A, option B. If they don't let us what to do, we need to be ready.
I agree. I think we should definitely do that.
Hey, Victoria, what's WPV?
I'm sorry, I had to de-teenagerize some kids downstairs. WPV is Woodside Portola Valley. So those are the bags. I think we showed you guys.
Yep, the medical bags. I got it.
Yeah, the medical bags. Yeah, so this what the Woodside Portola Valley CERTs and BATs use. Those bags are pretty cool, and they're I like them because they're organized. Right now, I did change the bags over to, I think you were there, Neil, when we changed the bags over to the bags I got from work. They're just not big enough to hold everything. So I got 5 of these bags. I don't think we need all 5 at the Ark. I'm thinking about putting one in each of the trailers. But we're gonna go assess that when we go kind of reorganize the bags. So yeah, that's what WPV means. We're kind of talking amongst ourselves, and I think that it would behoove us to maybe reorganize the bins a little bit inside the trailer too, to kind of help somebody who may not be super familiar with the Ark, but maybe the first one to show up, to kind of help with some coordination of roles, kind of where to start. Like for me, I just grabbed the maps because they were right there, because I knew I was going to have to do the maps, or to set up. And it was kind of like, where do I go from here? So I think we're going to look at maybe some color coordination, just to have some organization within roles, and to kind of know when you go to the Ark, like start here. I think those of us that are familiar with the Ark, it's a little bit easier, but some of us are not. So I think we're going to look at kind of some reorg with that. We still need to kind of move some bins around due to some weight issues too. We've got pretty much all of the bin labels done, and thank you to Steve. He's been working very hard at doing that. And I think now we just want to kind of move on to more of a color coding. I know Dave and Steve and I were talking about it. Same with the Kearneys, just, as we were kind of hanging out at the Ark. So that's going to come up hopefully sooner rather than later. The Loyola trailer has a new battery now. Thank you to John Montrum. He's been helping me a lot, since I know nothing about batteries or anything to do with cars, really, to be honest. So he has been very helpful in helping me figure out why the generator wasn't starting. We did have a very good interaction with the fire department this last time we went there, unlike the first time that I went there a couple of weeks ago. And they were super helpful, very knowledgeable of the generator. And so we determined that the battery needs to be replaced. So I replaced the battery. So it is now fully gassed up, tires are good to go, and the battery is hooked up and running. So I think where we go from here is having someone go check the generator every month. I think it should be someone from CERT. And what I like to do is see different people do it, so they know how to work it. Because it's something that we don't normally deal with. And I think it would be really good for, and I can meet people out there every time too, but I think it would be good for like different people to kind of get to know the generator and how it works, and how those trailers work too.
Victoria?
Yes.
We're still not solved on the one next to Town Hall. That may need a new battery as well. All we know is the last time we tried to start it, it didn't start. So it's likely it needs a new battery. We don't know it for sure. And by email, you and I talked about maybe getting our hands on one of those portable jump starters like AAA uses, and having that be in the CERT inventory. So it might be that anyone that's maybe on this call who has any interest at all in generator topics, maybe between you and me and whoever else those people are, just have a little bit of a get together to understand how we might rotate, let's just say, periodic startup duty.
Yeah, because I think the one at Loyola has been kind of helped along by the fire department, but the one up at Town Hall has definitely not been. Somebody suggested, I don't know if it was you, John, to maybe switch the trailers out. so that the one at, somebody was doing, I don't know, if maybe it wasn't you, John. Oh no, it was Ed. I'm sorry, it was Ed. Ed was suggesting that maybe we switch them out because the one that's been at Loyola is pretty well taken care of, and the other one up there has been sort of a lost child. I don't know if that's really necessary. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
So
I think-
Victoria, one other idea I had was that we originally moved the trailer that's behind the city hall there because they needed the extra parking while they were doing the construction on the admin building. But now that that's not there, I still remember that there is a charge outlet and some other stuff. And we might just want to talk to El Monte Fire Captain and say, hey, could we put the trailer back on the apron where it was?
So where was it initially?
Be on the south side, or as you're sort of facing the front of the fire station, the left side, or excuse me, my other left, the right side.
Where they park diagonally, like right?
Yeah,
next to it?
there's that. There's the parking area in front of the
Yeah.
fire station, but then there's also an apron on what I'd call the right side of the fire station. And there's a couple of parking spaces there. One of those parking spaces has a 120 volt outlet for charging that trailer. And the trailer used to
Okay.
be there all the time.
Ah, okay. So I did not know that. When did it get switched over to Loyola?
About the time they started, oh, excuse
No,
me, not
to the
Loyola,
town hall.
to the town hall.
Oh, sorry, Town Hall.
Yeah, they did that because of parking issues when they started construction on the new admin building.
Hmm.
Remember, they tore up most of that. Well, and they fenced it all off, so there was no
Okay.
place to park.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can definitely look at that. That would make more sense, especially if we're going to have, at some point that truck that could be parked near there too.
Mhm.
Because right now, if we were to activate those trailers, do we have a plan for who's going to pick those trailers up? Because I mean, I can take one trailer, but I definitely can't take two. What was the plan before? Was it Mike Sanders had a truck?
Yeah, in the
Probably.
olden days, it was Rich Irvine, who's no longer with us, has a 1-ton truck
Okay.
or 2-ton truck. One of the concerns we had was that the gross weight of those trailers exceeds sort of the usual lightweight balls that are on most people's cars. So you need a significant truck. I think the plan, such as it is that we would call the town and get somebody from the Public Works to haul it somewhere.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. If it's something where, I'm not, because I'm in Campbell. So if I'm not, if I'm able to get over there, I can definitely come over there with my truck. But yeah, you're right. The hookup is not a normal hookup either, because we had our normal, like we tow boats,
Mhm.
and it wasn't the same. The ball's different. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got, a tow ball on my van, but it's only rated for like 3,000 pounds or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know there was discussion at the commission where they were talking about getting a F-250 class truck.
Yes.
And,
Correct.
that would certainly solve that problem by throwing a whole lot of money at it.
Yeah, so if I remember right, and I'm not sure because we've gotten way late a little bit. I'd heard there was a donation for the amount for the truck. Someone's donating the money for it. I will follow up with
Really?
Denise about that and see where we are with that, because I think you're right, Neil. That would definitely solve a lot of our issues. So, and let me look into moving the trailer back too. I think that would make things a lot easier on us. Okay, does anybody have anything to add to this, or anyone want to update anything or talk about anything regarding the ARC and trailer refresh? And Dave, I'm sorry, I did get your email. Yes, Toy On, that's my next, once I get the generator fixed at the trailer, the Toy On. I think when we looked at the inventory, it was pretty much, looked pretty good. It was just, I think, the dog food and then some first aid supplies, which I just ordered. So
Okay, good.
that was the only thing we really saw there that was, an issue.
Okay.
Except for dead spiders. That was a big issue. And everything else. Okay.
What, we want live spiders? Are our spiders expired?
How about no spiders?
Oh,
Just
okay.
in general. Yeah. Backpack refresh. This is Dave's baby here. So there's again a problem with the credit card. I don't even know like what is happening. So I'd given Denise some backpack refresh items, including some ham radios and things like that. She's ordered some of them. She said that the ham radios that we had kind of picked, there was only 8 available, so she didn't order them. So what I'd like to do is hopefully work with you, Neil and Dave, to find, I think we should get about 15. I think that's kind of what we were sort of playing around with. That would give us plenty to have at the ARC if we need to, and then we can hand out the ones to the people that we were doing the recon stuff with. So maybe we can relook at that and find a vendor on Amazon that actually has 15 that we can buy. Because it sounded like that was sort of I'd like to have all the same ones. I don't know. I'm kind of like weird like that, where it's kind of makes sense to have the same one for everybody. I don't know. If we're going to buy in bulk, we should probably do the same one. So I'm going to wait for her to for those orders to come to me, and then I'll figure out what she has in there.
I added a link to your list. Somebody was selling them 6-packs. Okay.
Okay. Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go on there and I'll order them myself. That way I can just get it done. So the thought process with the backpack refresh, I know we've talked about it, but you know, I'm old and I don't remember things. So we have things we bought that they're trainable items. So for example, tourniquet and quick clot, right? Those things are going to be, you know, given to you after you've gone through the training, right? So obviously we're not just going to hand out those things. And her concern was that, you know, we want to make sure that we get the educational piece of it prior to disseminating. Things like headlamps, you know, that doesn't count in that kind of, you know, forum. But obviously with radios and tourniquets and quick clot and things like that, we're going to have to do some training. I do have, I'm putting together a 5-part series of CERT refreshers. Anne called me and asked me if I would be willing to do that. It sounds like through the CCLT, there's somebody, I think it was the lady that runs it in San Jose. Neil, you probably know her name. So like Adeline or something, or Lydia, I don't remember. Anyway, she's been doing some trainings, but Anne was interested in kind of us doing, you know, some things ourselves too. So part of what I want to do was like a kind of a tactical first aid class. And that way I can cover tourniquets and quick clot and things like that. I like to have skills in with that, obviously. So I could probably do something at the ARC where we kind of, you know, socially distance and we can do some skills. You know, you can do tourniquet on yourself. That's, you know, a doable thing, not hard. So, and actually I teach people to do it on themselves first, and that way they have it ready for them, and then they can use it on other people if needed. So that's kind of the way that we teach tactical first aid anyway. So that's what Denise and I kind of talked about. She was pretty adamant about not just handing things out. And I wanted to see what your guys' kind of thought process was on that. You know, I think that the people who have come to the ARC and have been helping and coming regularly to all our trainings, that should be like a no-brainer, right, for the backpack refresh stuff. But the other people that we have sort of lingering, and I would think those people are kind of the ones that maybe haven't picked up vest, or you know, kind of maybe picked up their vest but haven't really done anything since then. Thoughts? I'm sure you have some, Dave.
Yeah, I was waiting for somebody else to talk for a change, but I will jump in. Yeah, my take on this has been that, you know, we want to turn these into premiums or tchotchkes or whatever you want to call them to encourage people to participate and train. And, you know, like with the vests, we said, well, look, this is PPE. So if you're looking for goggles or gloves or vests, you know, it's an absolute minimum amount of participation.
Agreed.
But for instance, you should be willing to come to my house and pick one up. If you're not, you know, that involved, well, then I guess you don't get one. But I'm fine with that. Particularly, I think it's important that we don't just hand out tourniquets to people who don't know how to use them.
Yeah, Yeah, geez, I can only imagine what that would look like. Yeah, for sure. So I think once I get all the items, let's kind of talk again about what we have and what we think we can do. I think we can also use this as a recruitment tool. You know, we have some I don't know, I don't want to call them inactive, but we have some active inactive members that maybe we go like, hey, each of us take a person, right? Contact them and say, hey, you know, come to this meeting, you know, come to this training, you know, with me at Zoom or whatever. And, you know, after that, they get something for it, and we try to kind of pull them into some of these situations, and then maybe say, hey, you know, can you show up the arc and help us out for, you know, an hour, and we can hand you the things that we have for you. You know, it's just some way I want us to start thinking about recruitment. I know it's kind of weird to be talking about that because of COVID, but you know, I think now that the district is rejuvenated and feels like they can move on with life a little bit here, you know, those recruitment conversations are starting up again, and they want to see more collaboration with other CERT entities, which obviously I will, you know, be perpetuating and supporting. But I think that there's the thought process of trying to get some things rolling with recruitment. So we can use this as, you know, and I think too, I was going to ask, do we need to replace our backpacks with our kind of more active people? Are the backpacks still okay? I thought we talked about getting them new backpacks too. Is that just me dreaming that, or?
I've talked about it a couple of times. I think there were a couple of different generations of backpacks that were purchased even back in the olden days. And I seem to have got one of the earlier ones, which I'm pretty happy with. I mean, none of them are wonderful backpacks, but you know, it's adequate. I think if somebody has a problem with their backpack, we should look and see if there's, you know, one of the slightly different styles and trade them out.
Yeah.
I don't know that I really think it's worth doing a big, you know, upgrade to the backpacks. The kind of thing that I'd like to see upgraded to is something more like a modern REI style backpack, like an Osprey or something. But those are, I don't know what, you know, 40, 50 bucks a pop. And I don't think that's necessarily the right thing for the fire district to be paying for.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was thinking is that backpacks made more sense when what we were talking about was walking the neighborhood and doing zone surveys. And now what we may want to move on to are something more like duffel bags. You know,
Yeah,
something that rides in the
yeah.
trunk of the car,
Yeah.
and is easier to get stuff out of, and they should be relatively inexpensive.
Yeah. I think, you know, once we get like the Wi-Fi fixed and we kind of do some of our other things that are, you know, kind of more on our priority list, I would like to go back to this, and I think that's a good idea, to look at a different form of carrying your things in. I think that that's definitely something we should come back to, for sure.
Linda, you want to ask your question out loud?
Sorry, are you talking to me?
Yeah. Linda,
oh yeah. I was just wondering what is in the backpack, because
Did you not get one?
No, because I think the backpack was before I joined, so I wasn't sure what is in the backpack. Is it just first aid or?
Actually, that's a very good question, because a lot of these were done up as, you know, they're purchased in a kit from somebody who makes CERT kits. And so they've got first aid kit, some gloves, gas wrench,
pry bar,
some rope, you know, and some of that stuff was just worthless. Some of it was actually pretty good. There were some upgrades available. The early gas wrenches were these crappy little pieces of steel. And then we started handing out aluminum gas wrenches, which are a lot nicer and easier to carry around.
And lighter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Do we have a list of what should be in the backpacks?
I started a list of ideas of things to have in the backpack, and I don't know that we've hammered out a solution. Maybe that's not the right word. An agreement on what we really would like to see in the backpacks. You know, I don't know that that cheesy rope was really of any real value, but maybe 2 rolls of caution tape would be a better idea. And then one of the things we did discuss is that for even the things that are in the backpacks, some of them have expired. Like I've opened up my first aid kit, you know, and the Band-Aids, the sticky on the Band-Aids are all gone, you know, but some of the other parts like the gauze still wrapped up, still good, no problem.
Dave, we also have room in those backpacks for our helmet.
Yeah, helmets
should be
sort
on
of
your
opens up a
head.
whole nother question, because some people have helmets that are really, again, there were a couple different generations of helmets, and some are okay and some are not. I think for a lot of people, they got some that didn't fit well and kept falling off. And
My
some
helmet
had,
doesn't have a strap, so if
yeah,
I knot my head, it just fall off my head.
right. And somehow
Yes,
I got lucky with one that's got a little twisty thing on the back so it can tighten up on my head, and I like it. It's a great helmet.
maybe we can start kind of looking at that in the next few meetings about really what we want to see in the backpack. I know we have the like the tchotchkes, you know,
Yeah.
kind of like some upgrades figured out, but I think we probably should go back to like square one and, you know, how is the backpack doing? You know, do we need to replace some things?
Right. And what are we trying to do with it? You know,
Right. What's our end goal with the backpack?
right.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Okay, let's table that for next time because I know this is that could probably take quite a
Yeah.
bit of talking.
Well,
It's
one more
gonna
thought.
kind of be
On
like,
the one more thought on the backpacks. Maybe there's a couple different categories, or maybe the list should have categories of maybe you're better at first aid, or some are better at moving buildings out of the way with your pry bar. And
right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think that there's some people who are more comfortable doing things than others, and why put stuff in there you're not going to use, right? Or you're definitely not planning on using. Yeah, I think it needs to be practical for the person that has it.
Yeah. And another thing I was thinking about is that if you're going to send people on recon out, you might in fact have a more substantial backpack or duffel bag for a recon group than you would have as individual backpacks. You know,
Right.
one of the other ways of thinking about the backpacks is that they're sort of your personal emergency preparedness kit. So, you know, they've got a little food and water in them and a roll of toilet paper, because that's what you're going to need, and it's not necessarily very CERT related. So there's a bunch of different ways to think about this.
Yeah, for sure.
so, Dave, if you have your list, can I take a crack at organizing it, or do you want to do that?
Yeah, please. All right, let me just take a note to come back to this, because I had a different thought I wanted to bring up right now. And that was Steve, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You know, we've talked about making sure that we get ham radios to, well, certainly everyone who's got a license, but I think everyone who has a license probably already has a radio. But the people who don't have licenses, but, you know, we keep saying we want to set them up to monitor, we should take roll tonight and say who doesn't have a license, wants a radio on a listen only, and, you know, this will qualify you by having attended tonight's meeting to get a radio when they finally come in.
I think that's a great idea.
And I have 4 radios we previously purchased by the district, so we could actually get started right now. We don't have to wait to buy more.
Oh, cool. That's even better.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Neil.
I don't have a license, but I have a radio,
Okay.
and I need to program it.
Okay, so that was Sam.
Yeah. I actually inherited the radio.
Wow.
We can talk offline what type it is, Sam, and whether or not we have easy access to program it.
Does it have vacuum tubes?
Actually, he had one of those too. I didn't get it. Somebody else got that. My good old friend, he was 93, he passed away. His latest ham radio, he had put his stamp on it that this is gonna go to Sam. So his wife gave me about 3 months ago that this was your inheritance.
Wow. I can't see anybody like, because I'm on sharing my screen. Dave, do you see anyone else that, Steve, do you have a radio?
How about,
I do. If you go to gallery view, you can see people in addition to seeing what you're sharing.
Let's see if I can do here.
yeah, that doesn't work well for me. How about if people
Yeah.
raise their hand if they'd like a free radio?
Yeah, I think that would be.
So
probably
you have to pop open participants
Yep.
and then go down to the 3 little dots on my thing, and then click the raise hand.
Yeah.
These are the
We could put it in
Baofeng
chat.
radios, right?
Yeah, or put it in chat. That works
Yeah,
too.
I got.
So
Yeah.
I see Amita. You can take your hand down.
These are the Baofeng radios, right?
Yeah.
UV82.
Linda, do you need a radio?
Okay. Yep. Linda needs one.
Okay. Amy.
Amy, got your name.
Nice, John.
And then how about the 2 Johns? Do we get any of those?
I have my own. I don't need one.
Okay. And then John Adachi.
Pretty sure John Adachi's got one.
Okay. I think that's, oh, Elise. Elise, are you still there? How about Annie?
Annie responded.
Okay. I didn't see anything on here.
Oh, wait. Annie? No, Annie didn't respond. I'm sorry. Annie, yes, no, radio? Okay. Well, so anyone who wants a radio, just
chat it out.
Yeah, just chat, and I'll write your name down for the list. Okay, we can move
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Okay, upcoming education. I think I brought it up, but I'm going to be working on some training videos with Anne and probably Denise. She's more hazmat and fire suppression, where I'm not as good with that. So we'll be working on some probably a 5 video series. I'm thinking probably 1 for November, 2 in December, and 1 in January. I think what I'm going to do is do the recording and video, just not live, and then I'll show them at some of our trainings, and then we can have a chat. People have questions, and we can stop showing stop the video if we need to at certain points, just because it's hard sometimes when I've done a couple of teaching things, not with you guys, but with some other groups. And, sometimes the question and answer session goes on for 15 minutes and we kind of lose where we were and things like that. So I think it's better to just do all the training into one video, and then I can show it, and then we can kind of stop and chat and things like that if we have questions. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I told her I would kind of come up with some topics in the next week or so. The Los Altos Hills CERT webpage, she has a lot of links on there for some classes. There's some down here, as you can see. Be ready to prepare for disasters. You guys probably already see, kind of participate in some of these, but just to kind of let you know, they've got like a crime prevention and home fire safety, and then some COVID questions. She has her doctor, Dr. Yu, who's a local family practice physician. You guys may have heard of him. He does some question and answer sessions when it comes to like COVID knowledge and things like that. So I just wanted to kind of put, these are not live links, but I just wanted you to kind of have an idea. She also has some of the NIMS ICS links and the NIMS and ICS. So if you want to check it out, there's some upcoming education. Yes, Steve.
We have a celebrity insert. Can I share my screen for a second?
Sure.
Actually, can I share my screen?
Oh, here, let me, I need to stop sharing mine. And I have to make you come on. There we go, make co-host.
So there's a CERT member named Anne de Geest, and she's a regular CERT. And every 2 weeks, she puts out a really thorough analysis of COVID. She has two parts, and one is on how the virus is progressing, how it's affecting different countries, what different countries are doing about it, talking about trends and deaths and confirmed cases. And then the second part is on vaccines and things you can do to protect yourself. And it's a very in-depth, she talks about, I think, 9 different vaccines and what the status of each of them are. And you can find it on YouTube. It's called Ann Insights. And this is,
Okay. Can you do the link in the chat?
yeah.
Okay.
So again, it's every 2 weeks. She's been doing this for months. And there you can get a lot of knowledge by going back through these and seeing what things she's talked about.
Yeah.
And she's a local celebrity.
Okay.
All right. I can unshare now, right? Somehow.
Sorry, I'm looking at the chats because I haven't been able to see them from my screen. Is there anything I haven't?
Oh, there's stop share.
Yeah, Neil, your propane generator. Let's talk more about that because I know we haven't even hit our budget right now. And once we get back from the district or the fire department on getting your guys' Ethernets and the ham antennas up, let's see where we're looking at with budget, and let's look at that possibility. I think that would be a really great idea.
Neil, can I ask a question about that? Neil,
Sure.
Are you intending for that to be the portable, to replace the portable one that's in the Ark, or are you intending to go propane on the ones that are on the 2 trailers?
So I propose dual fuel for all 3.
Okay.
And so that way we can have enough propane to get started, because propane basically lasts virtually forever, 10
Yeah.
years. And then if we need to buy gasoline, we can have empty carriers that then we try to fill up during an event.
Okay. All right.
So this will do both. That's what you're saying, Neil, right? It takes propane as well as fuel.
All the generators I'm thinking about are that way.
Okay.
But we have a special type of generator in the trailers where we'd have to figure out what we could actually fit in there.
Yeah, there's a certain cavity, you know, the size for the ones that are there now.
But I would propose, I haven't done it, but I would propose reaching out to Orlandi, I think is the name of the company in San Jose.
Yeah.
That built out those trailers for us, and they probably know what's available in that type.
Okay.
Are those generators built-ins, or they just sit in a cavity, but are otherwise removable?
They appear to be built in, but I don't claim to have studied them deeply.
Okay.
John, have you noticed if it looks like, I mean, it looks to me like it's built in, kind of,
Oh,
sort of, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's a there's a rectangular cavity that they essentially just fit in. As to how many bolts are there holding them in, I don't know that part, but somehow they must have had to get installed at some point. So I'm sure they're removable. The question is just how difficult would it be?
Right, and they are RV generators. So whether or not it's a standard or just they happen to build it to exactly what those are, I have no idea, but I'm hoping.
Okay, but it's not like a Honda Red inverter generator?
Correct. It's definitely not a portable generator with a handle that just is.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
Definitely not. Okay, we'll put that on our to-do list. Thank you, Neil. So back to recruitment ideas. So I already kind of talked about it, have maybe, each of us invite sort of an active CERT or a friend to some of our Zoom meetings. We could do sort of like an intro to CERT special meeting if we needed to, if you guys have enough people that are interested. I know it's hard right now with COVID, but we could probably do some things that we can pull people in just off of our trainings or videos or things like that. So if you guys could start thinking of ideas, I know that I think it would be cool to put some of our videos that we do with the ARC activation, things like that, and kind of show people and adding that to the website. I was going to ask who's the moderator on the website? Is that you, Neil and Dave?
Technically, everyone in IT has permission to change the website. I've been the one who's doing most of it.
Okay. Because I wanted to add to the website like some things, and I can just do that. Is that okay?
Yeah, as long as you can figure out how. There's not a lot of training wheels, so but I believe you can undo changes after you make them.
Is it WordPress?
No, it's Google Sites.
Ah, okay. Oh, great. All right. I'm going to learn something new then, because I don't know anything about that. Okay.
And I'm also happy to walk you through it the first time.
I believe that was probably my next thing. Would you be able to walk me through? Okay. You read my mind, Neil. You know me well already. Yes, that would be awesome. Any other ideas that anyone can think of? I know I'm kind of like just blindsiding with this, but is there anything that you've thought about, or have you had friends, you know, since all the evacuation things have happened and you know, people want to help? Have you guys been approached by anybody that's kind of interested in sort of maybe wanting to help do things, you know, be interested in even not even being like a CERT, but just someone that wants to maybe come and be a, you know, a sworn in disaster, you know, worker that might want to come to some of these meetings? I don't know.
So this is Amy. I haven't been approached by anybody, but our zone 3, had an emergency preparedness Zoom meeting last week. And with a lot of people concerned about, you know, what's Los Altos Hills doing? Are we prepared? And we discussed, would we want to do a Saddle Mountain like drill? And so anyway, there were a lot of questions, and I took a lot of action items and had a good chat with Denise this morning.
Okay.
And I think that, and so I think we will have enough interest to do, I can't remember the exact name of it, a wildfire preparedness Zoom call ahead of time, and then a drill.
Okay.
And I think that sort of activity where we can introduce the CERT role into it somehow and say, this is what we do with CERTs. Would anybody want to be, is anybody interested in doing something like this?
Okay. I'll talk to Denise about that.
Okay. She had also mentioned it too, that she was going to use it as, if we decide to go forward with it, she would use it as a recruitment method for a lot of things.
I'm sure she did. Okay. Yes. Thank you. That's definitely, you know, I think we're hitting sort of a momentum right now with you know, the wildfires and the PSPSs and what's going on with the district. And I think that, you know, I see people are more interested in kind of, you know, what's going on, what we're doing. So I think that's a great avenue for us to do that. Steve?
I just realized I haven't.
Did he freeze or was that me?
He froze to me. Do you hear me?
I hear you. Yeah. Thank
Okay.
God. Okay. I thought I was getting off of Zoom again because it happens every time. I've been doing good.
I guess he was
Yeah.
telling us he's having internet problems. Timed it really well.
Yeah. Okay. We'll come back to him. So
I
yeah.
was going to ask, while we're maybe in a pause, the question about our website, is everything on our website behind a login credential, or should some of our website be sort of open to people who might be interested in CERT to say, here, let's tell you a little bit about it, even if you're not yet in, if you will?
The very short answer is most of it is open to everyone. There's actually 2 websites, one of which is behind, you know, password protected, and the other one is open.
Okay. And are we adequately linked from the town website? As far as you know, I haven't checked that lately myself.
I believe there is one link, but not more than that.
Because if residents are curious about preparedness, they might go to the town website first, and it would be nice if there was a fairly obvious link over to the CERT materials.
I'm sorry, you said town, and I answered for the fire district. I don't think there's a link for the town.
Okay.
I'll look into that because I thought there was back when I looked through it, but I haven't. Again, I haven't been on it, and I know that on our district website, right, we've got a link to learn more about CERT. But when I went on it, it's not that exciting. So I think, you know, I'd like to take some of our training videos and some of the things that we're doing and kind of put those up there to really make it, you know, kind of more tailored to what our group actually is doing, like currently, realistically, not some like fake video of some other CERT people doing something, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, my take is that our CERT website is really pretty minimal and bare. And
yeah,
that what we ought to be doing is to, particularly for things like training videos or public interest kind of stuff, that should probably end up on the fire district's website
yeah,
as a way to encourage people at the fire district. And I think, that website is going to be seen a lot more. Ours is more, meh.
But I
No,
guess I think people are going to more likely go to the town of Los Altos Hills website before they know to go to the county fire district
right.
website. We can all cross-link to each other. It's just that that's a logical starting point for people is the town site, I think.
Yeah.
yeah. And I know we do that on our end for the town, so I'll see how much it's reciprocated on there, and there should be some things on there. I couldn't imagine there wouldn't be, but again, I haven't looked lately, so that's a good point. Let me look into that and see what kind of, because you're right. I think that's where they would start, because they don't know anything about the town or the district. They're going to go to the town first. So yeah, so that's my next kind of thing after I get these. I was kind of stressed out really about these trailers. Poor John's had to put up with my like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? So as soon as I get those fixed and we get some things going, I really like to look into some recruitment ideas. So if you guys think of anything, feel free to let me know. The OK cards, I know they talked about them a little bit at the commissioner meeting last night, but I just kind of want to give you a heads up on what they're looking into. So they're gonna, I guess they're having or trying to figure out how to print the cards now, but the cards are pretty much done. If you go on the website, you can see sort of what they look like. But basically they're going to be asking the residents to put this OK sign out. I think it used to be a help sign. Is that right? Or I need help or I don't need help.
No, it's just an OK sign now. We decided that since we couldn't really promise any help, we shouldn't put help on the back of the card.
Yeah. So this replaces the help sign, right? That's what it was before the help. Yeah.
This is really just a I'm OK card, so we know that we don't need to worry about you right off.
Exactly. So I just want to share that with anyone. If anyone hasn't seen that yet, that's going to be coming out. I think they were just trying to figure out how to print them. I'm not sure what the holdup is with the printing, but you'll basically be seeing this instead of the help, the old help sign.
Yeah, I think Sarah said it was just cardstock and coatings and stuff. It was just trying to get the printing right.
Yeah, I think it's probably sizing and all that. We usually have a problem with all that.
So I'm on the town website, just a quick note here, and there's only like one link back to safety training, and then even that doesn't go back to the fire district website. I don't see much that links back to the fire district website, and nothing that relates back to CERT.
Did you have to search to get to that?
Well, I hit the emergency button.
Yeah, I did a search and we're listed in the trusted sources document, but
okay,
that's only gettable by search. You would have trouble stumbling into it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let me talk to Marcia about that. Sorry, I'm taking notes.
Okay, and I have a item I'll bring up.
Cool.
Neil, I don't know if you were listening in on the fire district meeting last night.
I was not.
So there was an item about capital improvements in the fire station themselves, and that prompted me to bring back your Wi-Fi connectivity back to the ARC and the ham radio thing. And we had been, Victoria had been bugging Dave Snow, about trying to make some progress on this. But by bringing it up to the fire commission last night, they agreed that they should really get on this. And David Snow is apparently going to be doing something now. So Victoria is going to introduce you and I to Dave Snow and see if we can, help him figure out.
I talked to Dave Snow a while ago.
Yeah.
Pre-fire stuff, so it's probably close to 3 months. he basically said, go ahead, do whatever you want. Your plan looks fine. So I think the district has the fire SECFD has signed off and said, go wild, do what you want, be reasonable. They approved where we proposed placing the ham radio antenna. They approved us placing, the wireless link on the outside. They just wanted us to make sure we wouldn't be interfering with any of their channels, which is easy enough.
Yeah.
And the one thing they asked us to do was talk to county comms for the amateur radio ones to make sure there weren't harmonic issues between our frequencies and theirs, which is also very reasonable.
Okay.
So I think actually the ball is back in our court. We've gotten the approvals we need.
So Neil, something amazing I think happened last night is that David Snow is going to put together a proposal for them to do the work.
Okay.
So
I am fine for that.
Yeah, I thought that would be easier on all of us than having to try vendors and try and do all that. So the way that Dave kind of pulled it into the conversation was as we were talking about the renovations that that the department wants to have done. Dave was wanting to add that into the renovations, which I like that he brought up then, because then the proposal was like, no, let's just keep that a separate project and just kind of go for it. Because David Snow was kind of like, that's an easy fix. So he's going to come back to the next meeting with the proposal of putting up the Wi-Fi and then the antenna, the ham radio antenna. Dave, do you remember if he said that he already talked to County Com? I thought that everything was okay.
Yeah, I think he said that there were no concerns with the radio antenna, and that they had cleared, I believe, the frequencies too.
Yeah.
In any case, we should get him to put whatever he thinks in writing and then present that to the commissioners so that we can.
Yeah. He referred me to someone in County Com who took like 2 months to get back to me.
Yeah.
But his last message was just send me the frequencies and I'll run the checks. And I was deployed at the time and didn't do that.
Neil,
Okay.
do you know who it was? Was it Chris Mercado?
I'll see if I can find it.
Will you see if you can find it and send it to me, and I can call them.
Right, but I can write down which frequencies we're proposing because his ask was reasonable and small, and I just wasn't here and didn't do it.
I'm pretty sure that he already checked with County Com, but what I'll do is I'll send an email to Snow and introduce you guys, and then say, hey, just wanted to make sure we had it right from last night. Did you already talk to County Com? Are we good with that? Blah, blah, blah. I'll make it sound more professional. I'm starting to get tired now. Yep, see, it's 8:07, right on the money. Yeah, so I'll do that. Does that sound good, Neil and Dave?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to try to find the email.
I think we got a little iron is hot. It's time to strike.
Yeah. Dave lit a fire, and we're going to let the fire burn until we get what we need. That's probably a really bad analogy, but you know what I mean. Okay. Anything else for open discussion? All right. I think this is.
Actually, Victoria, did you get my note? I can't help out this weekend.
Yes, that's fine. Not a problem. I'm not going to be around this weekend anyway. So that worked out perfect. I'll probably hit you up for some other dates and see if I can get anyone else to come play too.
Maybe a week from Sunday is okay for me.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
And
Awesome.
Steve, whatever you were trying to say before, you got about 2 words into it and then you froze up. So try and say that again.
Died.
Yeah.
It was if we can find a date to have an intro to CERT, I could talk it up amongst my neighbors.
Okay. Sure. Dave, I'm thinking that it's more like your welcome thing.
Before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Do you think your welcome to CERT thing, Dave, would be good to take and maybe we can manipulate a little bit? Or do you think that would be?
It's really more how to activate insert.
Okay.
I actually kind of liked, I think it was Amy's suggestion that, you're going to get more people interested by talking around fire safety or something and adding CERT as an advertisement in it. And I kind of like that. I have a list of people on my street who are interested in emergency preparedness. And, you know, I think I could probably get several of those people to come to a, you know, Denise talks about fire safety kind of a Zoom meeting. And I'd certainly be willing to advertise it out to everybody on the street.
Steve, do you think that would be something that would be a catalyst for them to want to come to talk about
Right.
both
I mean,
of
there
those?
has to be something to come to in order to invite them.
Yeah,
Sort
like
of
a
chicken
Zoom.
and egg problem.
Yeah, I think she's doing all her talks on Zoom. So it would be a Zoom, like a Zoom presentation on wildfire evacuation, and then we pop CERT in there.
Do we
Actually,
have a date for this? I mean, so that if we advertise it, well, if I want to advertise it to my neighbors, I can tell them that it will be on such and such date. And if
Yeah,
they're interested, I can just send them the Zoom link right after that.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to do that, that's great. I'll talk to Denise about what we can do. Do you guys want to do it all on one big one, or would you prefer to do little ones with everyone that you know? Because I think everyone that you know is probably better, right? Because people are more comfortable to ask questions and things like that instead of a big, huge Zoom meeting.
I don't think it's going to get really huge. But
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I always have to think big, you know. But I mean, do you guys want to do it separately, or would you be okay with doing it together if you got a group here? What do you think, Dave?
I think some amount of locality helps, but saying that, I think Linda and I live like within, you know, a
10
quarter
minutes
mile
of
of each
walk.
other. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, you know, we could certainly combine Linda's group with my group. My group is just the people on the Loma as we were fighting to get the street repaved. But I know we
Oh,
didn't.
right.
Linda, you're down on Stonebrook, or excuse me,
No, I'm on
Summit Wood.
Tepa. I'm
On
on
where?
Tepa. Tepa and Moody.
Tepa. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, she's just down the hill from me.
Okay.
I mean,
And
we're all in the hills, right?
well, I'm thinking, you know, we're actually close enough together that it's a 5-minute walk from one. And if we could combine that neighbor group, that would actually help create a little bit more neighborly feeling between,
Okay.
you know, Upper Loma and the Tepa group. I think I also agree that we're not going to have 50 people no matter how many we invite.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know, the fact that we've got a group from the southern half and another group from the northern half doesn't really matter.
I mean, I'm in the town hall group, so I can get people from around where I am.
Yeah.
You
Is
know-
there someone that lives next to you or near you?
Well, I know one of the old certs who moved out has somebody new
Okay.
just moved in, so maybe they would be interested.
Yeah. Because I was thinking we can do you separately then, because it sounds like, you know, they want to kind of buddy up over there. But you know, if you have, whatever
But I
you
think if
do.
we're lucky, I might get 3.
Hey,
and
you know
it
what? It's
seems-
better than 0.
I don't know, but I'm saying, well, on one hand, it's sort of we're being neighborly, on the other hand, it's kind of sparse.
Yeah.
More people, it'd seem like, well, the whole community is working together.
Right.
Yeah, I would say let's try it with everybody we can get for the first one. And if we discover that that's too many, then
Yeah.
the next training we can try and cut it in half or whatever
Okay.
makes sense.
And maybe one of the things you can do is you say, when you log in, have your video running, because most people will do that, and then put your name and then put a dash, like maybe what neighborhood or something like that. Maybe so people know, oh yeah, oh, you're in my neighborhood. Oh, I didn't know that, you know, so that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because we found we had 22 households that showed up for 58, and there were quite a few people that I'd never seen before. And so it was great to really, for, you know, an hour meeting, we got to know each other better via Zoom, which was great.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go for the first one with a combo of everybody, and then we'll kind of branch out from there if we need to.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amy. That's a great suggestion too. That would be very, very beneficial. And
So if
anything
you can
else
get
you
us a
think of?
description and a date, then we can
Yeah.
promote it.
Okay. All right. I will
And
work
then
on
implies you have the Zoom link too, but
that. Might be helpful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
we
suggestion.
can
Thank you.
guess.
Hey, you know, All right. I like it. Thank you, everybody, for your great ideas. Does anyone else have anything to add before we log off for the night? Did I get all the chat questions answered? Thank you, Steve, for that and insights on YouTube. Steve, can you also email that to me and I'll send it out?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. The other thing too, we probably want to think about is adding on some more CERT supervisors. I know the Kearneys have asked if they can join the soup group. I know Neil and Dave, we talked about maybe trying to get some stuff rolling with that. Are you guys interested in taking that on? Maybe not right this second, but at some point.
Yeah, I think one of the issues is we were trying to find any of the training manuals that
That's right.
created supervisor.
I found mine.
Excellent.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
'cause
don't have soft copy, but I do have hard copy.
that's
Alright,
fine. We can
that's
we can
good.
work with that.
because I vaguely remember that it was incident command structure, sort of an introduction to the firehouse, which we'll have to postpone, and then really sort of a walkthrough on ARC operations. And we've always said that there's nothing special about being a supervisor other than taking the training. So I'd like to get as many people trained up to be supervisors as possible.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe once we kind of look at all that and get something going, we can push that out to the group and see if other people want to join in on the
Neil,
side.
how many pages is the, I'm sorry for interrupting,
Oh,
Victoria.
no, you're fine.
How,
No, you're
how many
fine.
pages is the manual? Rough guess.
It's like 3/4 of an inch.
Wow. Okay.
Whoa. Okay. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. Maybe.
Is there a
All
plan-
righty. I was going to say, if it's 20 pages, can you shoot me a copy? But 3/4 of an inch, maybe I should just borrow yours for a while.
Yeah.
I actually probably have one in my backpack because all the stuff that I have from CERT, I put them in the backpack just in case I need them on the go, including my helmet.
Mhm.
So I can probably hand it over to you. I was thinking maybe I can scan it one by one, but it'll take me 2 days to get it done.
Yeah, I just want to look through it and really kind of come up with an outline, because I think, some of it is going to be CERT management. Some of it is ARC management, and we've changed the ARC management a fair amount since the last supervisor class. So, we'll, no matter what's in there, we'll want to change some of it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look for it and I'll shoot you an email if I don't find it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate
And
it.
if I get into that classroom, I will. Did I already look in? Did we already look in the old stuff on the computer there? We did, huh? Neil, and Dave, I thought I looked for that.
I know I looked in all the copy of Mike's files that we made, and I didn't
That's
see
right.
it there anymore.
Okay, I thought so. I'm like, I know we looked for those. Okay.
Mike wasn't very good about keeping soft copies.
Okay. Yes, I've noticed. I don't have anything to go off of.
The phrase we always use is he was really good at fighting fires.
Yes, that he was.
And he was excellent with people and delegating.
Yeah.
Computers,
Yes.
not so much.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a typical firefighter in that genre of firefighting.
Yep. And a
Agreed.
good mustache as required by firefighting rules.
That's right. You gotta really keep up the Movember look all
Yeah.
year round. Yes. All right, everybody. Well, anyone else have anything to add before we log off? Awesome. Another great meeting. We've got our work cut out for us, but I look forward to getting some things going at the next meeting that we have for CERT Soups. Hopefully we'll have an update about the antennas on top of the fire station. That will be awesome. And then hopefully some updates on some propane stuff, some backpack stuff. So we will charge on.
Okay. Thanks, Victoria.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Good night.
Okay, bye.
Bye.